What's up, baseball players? I'm Coach Dan Blewett. I'm a former pro pitcher. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to hold runners. So how to prevent runners from stealing, how to keep them from getting good jumps when they do steal, how to essentially prevent those cheap runs, right? So when you let a guy steal second base or let a guy steal third base, it allows them to more often manufacture a run, which means they can hit a deep fly ball with one out and the guy can tag up from third and score. Or with the runner on second with no out, they can hit a ground ball to the right side. He goes to third, then a sac fly or a ground ball up the middle. Well, you know, your team concedes the run, allows them to score. It's really hard to prevent that stuff when you're a pitcher. You can do your best to be really nasty and try to prevent base hits, try to get weak contact. But when weak contact, like a medium fly ball or a ground ball to the middle, scores a run, it's extremely hard to prevent those runs. And that's why you need to be good at holding runners to keep those guys off of second, off of third when you can help it, and to give yourself the best chance of throwing runners out with you and your catcher so that those cheap runs don't come through. You want to make the other team bat in their runs and really earn it, okay? So we're going to talk about holding runners in today's video. All right, so if you're new here, I'm Coach Dan. Again, check out the description links below. You'll find more videos that are related to this one, like different types of pickoffs, all that sort of stuff, my books, my online courses, so check that out below. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, so let's talk about holding runners. So this isn't an overly complicated thing, I'll promise you that, number one, but it does take some practice and some understanding. So number one, when you're off the mound and you're going through, or you're on the bottom of the mound and you're sizing up what you're gonna do next, your pre-pitch checklist, your mental checklist of what do I need to do? Which side do I have to cover for a bunt? Who's up? How am I going to pitch him? What has he done so far? What inning is it? What's the situation? All those things those things that help you decide what pitch call you're going to make and your duties once the ball is put in play. Those are really important, and it starts with understanding the situation. So when there is a manufactured run situation, so that means runner on first and no one out, or runner on second and one out, those runners are more incentivized, if they're smart and their coach is smart, to get to the next base, because getting to third with one out means a sac fly will score him. Stealing second with no outs means 2 sac flies will score him. So they don't have to get a hit if they can steal those bases in those situations. And I have a link, I'll link in the description below. I made a video all about that, the best stealing situations. If they can steal bases in those times, then it's going to really maximize their chance to steal a run against you. So number one is knowing the situation. If you know stealing situations versus ones that don't matter quite as much, like stealing second with, with one out, doesn't matter quite as much. Then you can say, okay, I'm going to focus a little harder here on holding this guy. I got to put a little more effort into it. The other situation is, and so I was a setup man my 5th year in pro ball. When I was pitching the 8th inning in a save situation, it's 2-1, it's 1-0, it's 3-1. If I let the leadoff guy get on first base, I need to keep him there, because if I'm protecting a 1-run lead, I cannot let him steal second base, because now a blooper, which I can't control, like a blooper is a good result, right? They didn't hit it very hard, but a blooper now blows the lead. So it was really important, and that's when I got really good at holding runners, when I knew I absolutely cannot let this guy steal second base. The mindset difference between I hope he doesn't steal second versus I cannot let him steal second is very different. And a lot of young pitchers, they just kind of go through the game and they're just focused on the hitter, and if he steals, he steals. I'll try kind of hard, but no. If you really want to be great at holding runners, you have to switch your mindset from I want or I hope to I absolutely must. I must keep this guy on first base, and that's an important mindset. All right, so specifically, let's talk about the stuff that you can actually do. Number one is picking over more times when there's a runner who's fast. So obviously I have a video on different types of pickoffs to first base, your fast move, your slow move, all that stuff. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely do that. So you need to make sure you have a threatening pickoff move. If your pickoff move is really good and you make strong, sharp throws to first base and they know you could pick them off, that's going to help keep them closer. That's an obvious one, right? The next one is your timing, and this is by far the biggest thing. So number one, understand that you cannot prevent runners from stealing. If they want to steal, they're going to steal. Just like in everything in life, if someone wants to be your friend, they'll be your friend. If they don't want to be your friend anymore, you can't stop them. You can't reason your way through it. If they're going to do something, they're going to do it. So if they want to steal, they're going to steal. So your only option at that point is try to give them the worst jump possible and try to discourage them from stealing on a breaking ball or a changeup, which is going to essentially make them safe the vast majority, if not 100% of the time. So let's cover the first way first. So discouraging them from stealing on a certain pitch. What we call this is protecting your pitches. So for me, again, going back to the 8th inning, it's a 2-1 game. I got a guy on first and no one out, and I'm about to throw a 1-2 curveball that I want to spike in the ground to maybe get this guy to swing and miss. So the fact that I know that I'm going to throw a curveball in the dirt is very concerning to me, because I know if he picks this pitch to steal on, I'm screwed and he's guaranteed to be on second base. So the fact that I know what I'm about to do is harmful to me holding runners. What do you think I should do? I'm going to pick off a bunch of times before I throw that curveball. So it's like, okay, mentally, I'm about to throw a 1-2 curveball in a tight situation that I want to bounce. And it's a slower pitch in general. So I don't want him to pick this pitch. So now it's boom, boom, boom. I might pick off 3 times in a row and be really aggressive with it and give him my best move. So he's like, oh man. And he's a little bit nervous, and now he doesn't decide to go on that pitch. He defers it. He pushes it back. He says, okay, I'll do the next pitch, not this one. That's really, really important, and that's how you protect your pitches. So if it's in a important situation and you don't want the guy to pick this particular pitch, then protect your pitches. And so what happens then is, okay, I'm gonna throw a 1-2 curveball, and if he doesn't swing and miss, if I don't get my out, it's 1-2 again, or it's 2-2. Now I'm gonna come back with a high fastball. So if I can protect my pitch and get him to not choose the curveball, okay, that's good, we did that. Now it's 2-2, I'm gonna throw a high heater. I'm still gonna maybe pick over once, but if he's gonna go, this is the time that I want him to go. I want him to choose my high fastball, and I threw hard. So it's like, this is the best possible opportunity for us to catch him stealing if he does decide to go. A high heater at 92 miles per hour, whatever. So at that point, I might say, yeah, I'm gonna do what I can to hold him, but if he's gonna go, I want it to be this one. So I'm not gonna overly discourage him now because I want him to pick that pitch. That said, the overarching thing you're gonna do to keep runners from stealing is mixing up your holds and your timing. This is critical. What most pitchers do who don't hold runners well is they get into a pattern where it's, I come set, 1/1000, and then I pitch. I come set the next time, 1/1000, and I pitch. I come set, 1/1000, and then I pick. I come set, 1/1000, and then I pitch. So now when that runner is ready to steal, he's gonna say, okay, well, every time he comes set, he holds for 1/1000, and then he goes. So I'm gonna bolt. So they have a very good idea. They're leaning, they're like, okay, 1-1, and they see the foot go, and they're off. They get a really, really good jump. So holds are how long you hold the ball at your chest. And so if you watch good pitchers, what they do is, all right, I have a stealing threat on first base. A guy who's fast, he's a good base stealer. So now I come set 1/1000 and I pitch. Next pitch, 1/1000, 2/1000, 3/1000, 4/1000, and I pick. Next pitch, 1/1000, 2/1000, and then I pick. Next pitch, 1/1000, boom, and I pitch. Next pitch, 1/1000, boom, and I pick. Next pitch, as soon as I come set, I pick. So the fact is now for this runner in this scenario, he has no idea when you're gonna go home or when you're gonna pick. You could hold 3 seconds and pitch. You could hold 4 seconds and pick. You could hold 2 seconds and pitch. You could hold 1 second and pick. You could be coming out of getting your sign and pick, which is legal, by the way. So when the runner has no idea what timing is gonna be the next pitch or the next pick, he has to wait to the very last second and watch very intently to figure out, can I go? Because they can't do this leaning thing anymore because you could pick over or pitch home at any given time. And that really is the biggest thing you can do to hold runners. Now, the last thing I'll cover is, and this is a problem that I see even, I was watching some Division I baseball games, earlier in the year, is pitchers come set, big leg kick. No one, I shouldn't say no one anymore, but if you want to hold runners on at any level, you can't be more than 1.3 or 1.4 at the most to home plate. And that means by the time my first movement until the ball hits the catcher's mitt, it takes 1.4 seconds to get there. So if you throw 90 miles per hour, it's going to take about 4/10 of a second for the ball to leave your hand and hit the catcher's mitt. So that means 1 second flat or a little bit less is all this other stuff to deliver the ball. So just lifting your leg, 1/1000, most guys that have a full leg kick with runners on base, which is a lot of them, which is a problem, which is they're just screwing themselves, they're typically 1.6, 1.7, 1.8. And so now if you take a runner whose average speed, and he's already got a 12-foot lead, let's say, he's only got to run 78 feet, and he's got a 1.8 second head start, and your catcher is going to throw a 2.1. That's about the major league average, 2 flat, maybe like a little more, 2.0, between 2.0 and 2.1. That's a major league in-game pop time. Of course, they go below that. If you want to check out my numbers, I'll put a video in the description about catcher pop times in the major leagues. So you're taking 1.8 plus 2.1 if your catcher's good, and now you've got a catcher runner who's pretty fast, who's only got to run 78 feet to second base. You're not going to get him, right? Runners can run 78 feet in less than 3.9 seconds. So when you start to do the math, and of course there's a lot of younger kids who are even slower than that, and they don't throw as hard, they don't throw 90 miles per hour, so the ball takes another tenth of a second to get there. Catchers throw 2.2, and they just have no chance of getting a runner now. So you have to give your catchers a fighting chance to get somebody out. So that's the last big thing. You can't have this big leg kick. So if you need to learn how to do your slide step faster, and I don't recommend just picking up and going because you lose your weight shift, I recommend a knock knee, and I have a full video tutorial on all that, which I'll link to in the description below. So hopefully this video is helpful. Like I said, I've got a lot of other resources, so if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to check out my video on pickoffs, on the slide step, on situational base stealing. All those things are really important for holding runners in baseball. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm Coach Stan Blewett, and I'll see you next time.